What if money actually grew on trees? Imagine that for a moment, not in a metaphorical sense, but quite literally. Picture a world where currency orchards become the beating heart of economies, where each species of tree is laden with different denominations and currencies. This is a place where the health of an economy is not gauged by stock markets or GDP, but by the lushness of its groves and the quality of its bills rustling in the wind. Intriguing, isn't it? But what would this mean for our society, our environment, our values? Would it be an utopia, or could it lead to unforeseen consequences? As we ponder these questions, we begin to realize that this is not just a whimsical thought experiment. It's a lens through which we can explore our complex relationship with wealth and the value we place on currency. So let's delve into this alternate reality and examine the implications. In this alternate reality, currency orchards become the new Wall Street. These aren't your everyday orchards, though. They are sprawling expanses of economic abundance where money, literal money, blossoms on trees. Each tree, each species, bears different denominations and currencies, creating a unique, vibrant ecosystem of wealth. Imagine stepping into one of these orchards. The rustle of bills replaces the usual chorus of leaves. The air is thick with the scent of fresh ink and paper, a far cry from the sterile electronic hum of our current financial institutions. Here, the economic pulse of a nation is not measured in stock market fluctuations or GDP growth rates, but in the verdant health and productivity of these money trees. Just as a botanist would assess the health of a forest by its biodiversity, economists in this world would gauge financial stability by the lushness of these groves and the quality of its bills fluttering in the breeze. Initially, the phenomenon could lead to a utopian society where poverty is eradicated. Just imagine no more hunger, no more homelessness, no more struggle for basic needs. Everyone would have access to the fruits of these money trees, and life would be a little easier for everyone. Yet, as with every silver lining, there's a potential storm cloud. This abundance of money could lead to hyperinflation, as the traditional principles of supply and demand are uprooted. With money literally hanging from the branches, its value could plummet. After all, if everyone has a fortune, then no one is really rich, right? This could lead to a massive surge in prices for goods and services. A loaf of bread could cost a stack of bills, a gallon of milk could become worth a small fortune. The concept of wealth as we know it would be turned on its head. What was once a symbol of success and prosperity would become as common as leaves in a forest. The societal impact of such a change would be profound. Our entire economic system would need to be reimagined. The incentive to work could also diminish significantly. Why labor when one can simply harvest cash? Yet, in this unusual landscape, certain professions driven by passion rather than monetary gain may flourish. Artists, scientists, philosophers, those driven by curiosity and love for their craft, could experience a renaissance of creativity and innovation. On the other hand, professions driven by necessity or the pursuit of wealth could see a decline. Why become a banker when money grows on trees? Why become a lawyer when disputes over wealth could become a thing of the past? In this new world, the value of goods and services could be measured by their intrinsic worth rather than their monetary cost. Bartering, trading goods and services directly could become a more stable economic model. A world where a painting is worth a week's worth of groceries, a song could pay for a doctor's visit, a poem could buy a warm coat for the winter. People might start trading intangible goods and services again, reverting to a barter system as a more stable economic model. The environmental impact would be profound. Imagine, if you will, a world where trees are no longer felled for their timber or to make way for urban expansion. Instead, they are cherished as the lifeblood of economies, the green engines of prosperity. Deforestation, a major concern in our current reality, could see a dramatic decline. Forests, once the victims of industrial progress, now become the beating heart of economies worldwide. Countries might invest more in forest conservation and reforestation efforts, knowing that these currency orchards are the source of their wealth. But as with any major change, there would be a flip side to this green coin. The potential for money poaching could lead to a different kind of environmental exploitation. Just as rhinos are hunted for their horns and elephants for their ivory, these money trees could become targets for illicit harvesting. Forests might be stripped bare by those seeking a quick fortune, leading to money deserts devoid of greenery. This could result in an ecological imbalance. The unchecked harvesting of money trees might disrupt local flora and fauna, leading to a loss of biodiversity. Certain animal species might lose their habitats, while others could overpopulate due to a lack of natural predators. Moreover, the overcultivation of money trees might lead to soil degradation. Just as single crop farming can deplete the soil of nutrients, the constant replanting of money trees could exhaust the land, making it harder for other plants to grow. In response to these challenges, a new breed of environmental warriors might rise, the currency conservationists. Their mission? To protect these precious groves from over-exploitation, ensuring a sustainable balance between economic gain and environmental preservation. They might work to create laws and regulations to prevent money poaching and promote sustainable farming practices to maintain the health of the soil and the biodiversity of the forests. In this hypothetical world, our relationship with nature would be redefined. Trees, once seen as resources to be used, would become partners in prosperity, reminding us of the intricate connection between economic health and environmental well-being. Currency conservationists might emerge, working to protect these precious groves. The geopolitical landscape would be transformed. In this novel world of ours, the might of nations would no longer be determined by their industrial strength or technological prowess, but by the fertility of their soil and their ability to cultivate money trees. Imagine this: countries blessed with the most fertile lands for growing these unique trees could ascend to the status of new global superpowers. The verdant money groves would become their crowning glory, their strategic reserves, their economic arsenal. They could leverage this newfound wealth to exert influence, negotiate better trade deals, and even reshape global policies. International relations, too, would take on a fresh dynamic. Diplomatic dialogues might revolve around the trade of saplings and seeds rather than oil or gold. Think of it as a form of green diplomacy. Countries might form alliances based on their shared interest in preserving and promoting these invaluable resources. Moreover, our understanding of agriculture could witness a seismic shift. Traditional farming methods might give way to innovative financial farming techniques where the focus is not on yield per acre but on the denomination per tree. Agricultural research could pivot towards maximizing the growth rate and health of money trees. In essence, the world order might be reshaped by financial farming techniques. It's an intriguing concept, isn't it? But then again, this is just a flight of fancy. Or is it? Let's explore further in our next scene. This scenario raises ethical questions. In a world where money grows on trees, would these trees be a public resource, free for all to pluck from? Or would they be private property, owned and controlled by a select few? Would we share the wealth equally, ensuring everyone has access to the riches these trees provide? Or would some hoard the trees, creating a new form of socio-economic disparity? The answers to these questions would not only determine the economic dynamics of this world, but also its moral and ethical code. Would we see a society founded on principles of equality and shared prosperity, or one dominated by greed and exclusivity? Would the worth of a person be measured by the number of trees they own or by their contributions to society? The answers to these questions would shape the moral fabric of this new world. While the idea of money growing on trees is a fascinating thought experiment, it helps us appreciate the delicate balance of our economic systems and the value of currency. We've journeyed through currency orchards, societal shifts, environmental impacts, global dynamics, and ethical dilemmas. In the end, money trees are a metaphor for our desires